A soaker of a Christmas day wrapping up across the Bluegrass State. I'm tracking the local high water potential right on through the next few days just ahead.
This Christmas, some Kentuckians have more water in their yard than snow.
I had $100 on Monday, and where is it on Friday?
This festive season can sometimes put stress on family finances.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening. We are tracking some strong spring-like storms tonight, and that is why we are calling this Christmas Day a first alert severe weather day here at WKYT. We begin with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey, and Chris is tracking storms on the first alert defender.
Yeah, more of a heavy rain event out there earlier in the day, some thunder and lightning, but we are going to see more waves of these heavy rains pressing back into the region as we go through the rest of our long holiday weekend. Defender radar network right now looks a whole lot better than what we were looking at earlier in the day. You were waking up this morning. Kids, Santa Claus came rolling into town last night with rain, thunder, lightning, you name it. Across southern Kentucky, we had flooding still ongoing in at least a couple of spots, but the heavy flooding, the serious flooding, is now a thing of the past, at least this go around. Still a flood warning into parts of northeastern Kentucky. Lexington Metro, we've got a lot of drizzle. We've got a lot of misty rains that are out there, even though what isn't showing up on the radars throughout the land is still falling from the sky. It's just a little too light to be detected. Look at all the rain again into Knoxville, Nashville, down toward Huntsville and Birmingham, Atlanta. Big time flooding ongoing in these areas. We've had severe weather here. What's down there is going to lift its way back to the north. That's warmer air that is going to surge its way back across the Ohio Valley as we go into later on tonight, and certainly into the especially first half of our Saturday. What that will do, it will open up the floodgates again for the possibility of heavier rains developing from south to north late tonight and early tomorrow. And also those temperatures are going to really shoot up over the next few days. We could be near record highs for both Saturday and Sunday yet across Kentucky. Some areas could see a 30-degree temperature difference from north to south. A crazy weekend of weather when I come back in a few.
Today's heavy rain on top of some already soggy ground is causing some high water concerns. Crews in several counties shut down roads due to flooding. And in Boyle County, emergency management leaders say at least 5 families on Perryville Road had to temporarily leave their homes. WKYT's Monique Blair is tracking the flooding concerns in our top story at 5:30.
The family that lives out here on North Bragg Street in Boyle County tells me although it is fairly common to see flash flooding in their yard, what they experienced Friday morning was worse than they have ever seen. Boyle County Emergency Management Director Mike Wilder says crews from the state, the county, and from several cities were out today closing down roads that were affected by flash flooding. But he says the good news was that as fast as the water went up was about just as fast as it went down. Several homes in Perryville were hit by heavy rain. 5 families were even evacuated for a couple hours. Although Joseph Sott didn't have to leave his home, he tells me he and his wife started packing some of their belongings because the water was higher than they've ever seen it in the 10 years they've lived here.
When it gets up to the point where we can't get the Jeep out and the water's starting to stand all the way up to the road and stuff's the time we get ready to leave. And that's what it was getting close to this morning. It was about 4 or 5 inches deep right around the house, around the porch here, and that's when we started packing up, because if you can't get out, you're stuck in your house.
Now, to give you an idea of how much this water affected the Sott's backyard, that blue cooler doesn't even belong to them. Neither does any of this wood. And this time last night, this fence was standing upright. In Boyle County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Other parts of central Kentucky saw some high water this morning. A viewer sent us this photo from Montgomery County. And this picture comes to us from one of our weather watchers, Jordan Smith in Rockcastle County. And this creek in Mount Vernon is flooding out of its banks. Fog has also been an issue today. Check out this image of heavy fog from Lincoln County. To our south, cleanup is underway after multiple tornadoes touched down in Tennessee this week. In Perry County, near Nashville, 2 people died. Police found an elderly couple underneath the rubble of their home. Others say they were lucky to get out alive.
I had my grandson in my arm, under my arm, and everybody got in except for my sister-in-law, and I'm yelling at her, "Come on," and she got in. As soon as she did, I shut the door.
The National Weather Service says it's possible 4 tornadoes touched down in Perry County. At least 14 people have died in the storms that hit the south. If you want to send us photos or if you want to keep up with the storms when you're away from the TV, you can go to WKYT.com or download our WKYT weather app. Police in eastern Kentucky are investigating 2 crashes that sent at least 5 people to the hospital. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Lawrence County. Emergency management leaders shared these pictures of the scene on US 23. The 2 wrecks happened within a tenth of a mile of one another. Investigators say the crashes could have been much worse. You can see the fog was thick at the time. At least 5 people went to the hospital. No word on the seriousness of their injuries. In Harlan County, police believe a medical condition is to blame for a deadly crash. Dispatchers tell us a man lost control of his car in front of the Pizza Hut on US 421 in Harlan last night. We're told the car flipped. We do not know the identity of the victim or the medical condition suspected to have led to that crash. And in Logan County, the sheriff's office is asking for help finding a missing teen. Deputies say family last saw 16-year-old Dylan Kane Reese leaving his home in Lewisburg December 12th. Dylan is 5'7" with brown eyes and brown shaggy hair. Hundreds of volunteers served a hot meal this afternoon to those less fortunate at the Salvation Army's annual Christmas dinner. Volunteers prepared to serve 800 meals today. They cooked more than 100 turkeys. Every table was full at noon, and guests walked away with full stomachs and some presents, including Kentucky sweatshirts. The holidays may have left you with a lighter wallet. A lot of people like to spend this time of year. New at 5:30, WKYT's Rebecca Smith talks with a financial expert from the University of Kentucky about how to get back to that budget.
If you're like most people, Christmas cheer goes right along with an empty wallet. To get back on track, UK Assistant Extension Professor Jennifer Hunter suggests going in with a strategy by putting pen to paper.
Start with a list of all of your expenses and then also make a list of all of your income. Determine how much you have going out, how much you have coming in, look at the difference, and then make a plan for how you can overcome any additional expenses that you have.
It's not just the hangover from all that gift-giving revelry that can drain your finances come January. While we've had a mild winter so far, the new year will greet us with colder temperatures, possible snow, and higher costing utility bills. Hunter says don't be overwhelmed.
You can go back and look at what your utility bills were last winter and make a plan then for this winter. So you spend every dollar on paper, and that makes us a more conscious spender. So that we're more aware as opposed to just money just leaving us when we have that feeling of I had $100 on Monday and where is it on Friday?
In Lexington, Rebecca Smith, WKYT.
Financial experts also suggest you check your credit report once a year. The new year may be the perfect time to do that. And before you head out to do any post-holiday shopping, we have some important information to share about protecting your credit cards. Sam Dick reports it's easier than you might think.
You are looking at drugstore surveillance photos of Arlinda Weaver purchasing $1,000 worth of gift cards. The problem? The credit card she was using to make that purchase did not belong to her.
She wanted to know if I had opened up some charge cards.
The account belonged to this man, Richard Benoit, who got a call from his bank asking if he had made $7,000 worth of purchases in the last 3 days. When he said no, he realized he was a victim of ID theft.
I was angry to the point where, why? Why do you have to do it?
The bank contacted postal inspectors who quickly traced the purchases back to Weaver and discovered she had been using Benoit's Social Security number to get a credit card in his name.
She submitted an application as if she were that victim. During the application, she included her name as an authorized user.
Weaver never explained how she got the name and number, but authorities say it could have been through her job in a health care office. Keep this in mind. You have the right to refuse using your Social Security number on health care forms.
When you go to the bank and you open an account, that's one thing. When you apply for a loan, that's one thing. But a regular retail merchant, for example, or an online retailer, there's no reason they should ever need your Social Security number.
Never think that it's going to be somebody else, because you never know. And the one time that you let your guard down is the one time you're going to get burned.
And Weaver was sentenced to 3 years probation in order to pay $45,000 in restitution. Postal inspectors recommend enrolling in a credit monitoring service, or at the very least taking advantage of the free yearly credit report offered by the major credit agencies. Now the members of Congress signed the spending bill. They are back in their districts for a few weeks of normalcy. Many of them told our Alex Miller they like to keep politics out of holidays.
It's a chance to kind of kick back, spend time with family, but also get outside and clear your head from all of the political stuff that's been going on over the last year.
I plan to spend Christmas on my farm with my family. I have 4 kids back there in Kentucky.
As of right now, my kids are still extremely excited about Christmas, and so it makes Christmas morning really special.
Well, I'll get some time with my family, both in Pennsylvania and Massachusetts, where my wife's family's from. So we'll do kind of a combination of 2 states.
My family and I do what's called, I call it the 600-mile triangle. So Chris's mom lives 200 miles from Bismarck. My mom lives 200 miles from Chris's mom, and we live 200 miles from my mom. So it's a 600-mile triangle, and as long as we have healthy parents, pray for, more than anything, for good roads so that we're able to do all of that.
We expect lots of stuff happening at Christmas with babies that don't have any idea what Christmas is.
This to me is a very special time. I always pray for peace and for a better and a strong America.
We open some presents on Christmas Eve, our presents to each other, and then wait until Christmas Day when we open the rest.
Kids get to open at least 1 present on Christmas Eve. The rest has to wait till the next morning.
There's a series of family games, oftentimes a Trivial Pursuit or a charades contest.
A lot of eating, a lot of watching football, and a lot of playing with grandbabies.
We love to go to the Christmas Eve church service. It's a great community event. See our friends and neighbors, the families all together.
We usually have it down before New Year's at least.
The White House has released a pair of Christmas-themed playlists the Obamas and the Bidens compiled. They are the latest release in the White House's use of online streaming service Spotify. The White House launched its official Spotify channel back in August. The Christmas tracks feature a variety of artists and genres, with everything from Frank Sinatra to Destiny's Child on the Obamas playlist. And the Bidens list runs the gamut from Neil Diamond to Coldplay to Delaware Slide, a tribute to the vice president's home state.